Hello everyone, welcome back to Football Pundit. This time, unfortunately, we're back again with a loss against Newcastle at St James Park. It was an absolute horror show and a mentally exhausting game to watch, with everything going south for Arsenal. Nothing was working for Arteta and the players. Let's break down the game and see how it went. Now, this image on the right depicts the exact same thing that all the Arsenal fans were going through. It was just like end the match, forfeit it. Normally in FIFA, when you forfeit the match, you take it 3-0 defeat and you leave that game. And this was very much close to the same experience. The moment that goal went in, Arsenal looked like they were hopeless. They didn't were not able to create any chances. They didn't had any idea how to break down Newcastle, how to play, and there are a lot of players that we should be questioning. I think the only player that stands out yesterday was Thomas Partey for me. I think he was the one who was triggering most of the things for Arsenal, but rest all of the players, apart from maybe a couple of defenders, everybody like they were horrible in that game. They were not able to interact with the other teammates. They were not able to link properly. There were no chances created, and in the whole of 90 plus added minutes, Arsenal only had one shot on target. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. Let's talk about this goal. Alexander Isak, somebody that who we have been linked with in the previous summer transfer window, in this summer transfer window, but we haven't been able to land him. He is exceptional when it comes to goal scoring. He has been in sublime form, and this is where our defense fell apart. Anthony Gordon was having a wonderful game and he put in a brilliant cross, which Isak he went in between Gabriel and Saliba and scored a wonderful goal to give Newcastle the lead in the 12th minute. Now, as much as I rate Isak, this is the guy that we need at Arsenal Football Club. We really need a striker badly. Now, either you try to get Sesko, either you try to get Gyökeres, or you get Isak. Tony is not available anymore. He is went to Saudi. So we really need to get a guy like this who can score goals. It has been enough that we have tried Havertz, Gabriel Jesus as the forward players. They are not working for us. They do score one or the other goal every now and then, but when we really need the goals, they are not the one. They are not clinical strikers. They are not the finishers or a proper number 9. They are wingers converted into a striker role or center attacking midfielder converted into a striker role. And we need a proper number 9. Now, irrespective of how much money it costs, if Arsenal wants to win any silverware this year, they need to get that hitman in the January transfer window. Now you see this cross here from Anthony Gordon. This is a superb cross, nothing to take away from it. But Isak is in the middle of Saliba and Gabriel. You see him, and we have Declan Rice as well, who is trying to be close to Isak. Now all the three players, they are not able to get the ball, and Isak slips in between them and scores a wonderful goal for them. As much as I rate the defenders for Arsenal, I think this season they are having a horrible performance. They are leaking goals. They are not able to control the play of the game or the attack in one way or the other. Every match that Arsenal is playing, whether they have the proper defensive lineup or not, they are conceding goals for sure. So there is something that is going wrong where we had the most reinforcements in this summer transfer window in our backline, where all of us thought that we should upgrade our attacking options, but we invested more on our defensive options, but still we are leaking more goals. Now, have a look at Anthony Gordon's performance. Now, Anthony Gordon had 100% of the tackles won, 29% cross accuracy, 7 crosses, 2 chances created, 1 assist. And he was absolutely all over the pitch with his hard-working abilities. In terms of most non-penalty goals versus Premier League Big Six in the start of last season, Alexander Isak has 9 goals and Erling Haaland has 7. He is definitely a big game player, and he stepped up yesterday when Newcastle needed it. We need a guy like this, and Arsenal, they need to do something in the January transfer window for sure. Now let us talk a bit about the players. And this is where I need your help, guys. I felt it was an absolute shite show versus Newcastle with nothing working, the substitutions, the players that were starting 11, the tactical changes that were being done when bringing on Zinchenko. I think everything went south for Arsenal. Nothing was working, and we were not in control of the game for even, I'll say, a couple of minutes in the whole 90 plus added time. Let's start with David Raya. I think for the goal, he couldn't have done much about it. I think it was a perfectly put in header from Isak. So I'll give him there. Apart from that, all the other things that came for him, I think he collected them properly. He saved a couple of decent chances as well. So I think 7.3 is justified for that. Thomas Partey, I think for me, he was the man of the match. He was the only player who was putting in a performance and stepping up for this big game. I think apart from him, William Saliba, I think he had an average game. He could have done something for the first goal. For Gabriel, I think he is definitely at fault for the Isak goal. He should have been a bit closer to Isak, trying to mark him or trying to put the ball away. Julian Timber, I think he was not playing well. I think this is the first game that I felt for Julian Timber where he didn't feel comfortable. I felt that he was being passed quickly, he was kept on his toes, and I think all the other attributes that Julian Timber has when it comes to pressing, trying to go with the ball, trying to pass the ball, I think it was not happening for Julian Timber. Gabriel Martinelli, I think absolute shite show of a performance. I think it is time now Arsenal fans try to understand that this is the guy is not developing the player that we thought he would be. He had a horrible season last one. This season he has assisted and scored a couple of goals, but to be honest, we if you are seeing the game, you know how many chances he is missing. How many take-ons does he actually do? Does he even dribble past one player? No. Does he put a decent cross? No. Does he create any chances that you are like, oh my god, that was a superb pass or a superb through from Martinelli? No. I think we really need to start asking very strong questions on Martinelli. Mikel Merino, let me know your thoughts on this. Maybe is it too early? I really thought that we are getting a ball playing player. I understood that he was not fast, but he is slower than a double decker bus. A double decker bus can turn more quickly than him. And in terms of passing, in terms of putting in the through balls, I have not seen even one pass that I will be amazed, one through, one cross that I will be like, oh my god, this is a superb ball from Mikino. This is what we were missing. Granit Xhaka used to put better performance than Mikel Merino on what he's doing right now. Let me know if it's too early, but I definitely have my questions on him. Declan Rice, I think he's the sideways merchant, always passing sideways. He was he's not able to drive the ball forward, he's not able to put in the throughs or the passes, he always looks for the sideways passes, the easy option, and I think that is something that he really needs to develop. Apart from his interceptions and everything, these are good when he's sitting alone as a defensive midfielder in number 6 position, but the progressive ball thing, something that he needs to work on, which Thomas Partey, even when he's there on playing as a lone number 6 position, Thomas Partey can give a better through, better cross, better passes, and can really break through the lines. Bukayo Saka, I think he had the worst game for Arsenal. I think he was kept quiet. I think apart from the maybe a couple of times where he tried to get on the defender, I think he was not playing well at all. But I think you also need to understand that Thomas Partey has an inverted role because he was playing as a right back. So Bukayo Saka was always doubled or tripled when he was trying to take on the fullbacks of Newcastle. So that is something that went against him. But still, I don't think he had a good game. Kai Havertz, we have paid 65 million for him, and we really need to get a striker. That is something that I have been telling previously as well. Gabriel Jesus, a winger turn striker. Kai Havertz, a center attacking midfielder turn striker. These are not working for us. We are not able to score goals. We are not clinical. They are not a prolific goal scorer. We need a hitman. He was all over the pitch yesterday rather than being in the penalty area or in the 6 yard or 18 yard box for Arsenal to help. He was all over the pitch but doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Leandro Trossard, I think it's high time that we start getting him on as substitutions only. Whenever he starts the game, has never put in a performance that would be like, oh, this is now his spot now. Never. He has, whenever he has started the game, it has been a very bang average performance. Yesterday, I think him and Martinelli, they both of them should have been dragged off at halftime because they were horrible throughout the first half, and they were finally taken off by Arteta with the substitutions, but I think it didn't help. It didn't help at all. Zinchenko, I think he was not able to impact the game. Gabriel Jesus, not at all. Again, like, I think it's high time that we let Gabriel Jesus go maybe in the summer or in the January transfer window. It is just not working out for Arsenal in terms of Gabriel Jesus. Finally, we had Anveri come on in the 60th minute, and a lot of the people were saying like, bring on Anveri, we need a proper number 10. And I think this time I might consider Arteta's option, where he was trying to make sure to give Anveri some amount of time slowly, because when he was on, I think in this big stage and this big game, he was not productive. He was not able to take control of the position or of the game. So I think this he faded with the game as well. So I think maybe we need to give him a bit more time, casually introduce him to the Premier League, because playing in the Carabao Cup and playing in the Premier League, the levels are completely different. And in an away game against Newcastle, I think it is very hard, where all the other players are having a horrible performance. So that was there in terms of the expected goal. Like you can see, we had 0.53 to 1.05. Big chances created 1 is to 1. Total shots 9 to 10. Goalkeeper saves 0s to 1. And this is one of the things that I really wanted to say. In the whole second half, where Arsenal were 1-0 down, I thought they will come back and they will try to put pressure on Newcastle. But it was Newcastle who put all the pressure till the added time on Arsenal. We didn't had a single shot on target in the second half. And in the whole of the game, we had only one shot on target, which is embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. With close to 700 million plus amount spent, we are seeing this kind of performance from Arsenal. In terms of foul, it was 16 to 18, passes 289 to 502, tackles 23 to 17, and free kicks 18 is to 16, and yellow card 4 is to 4, which was pretty even. But I personally feel this was an absolute embarrassing performance from Mikel Arteta and all the Arsenal players. Now, this is something that came up where in the post match interview, he said, we didn't find enough answers to a lot of questions and situations. You have to resolve better from Arteta. We can say whatever we want, but we have to show it on the pitch on Wednesday night. And we have very tough fixtures coming up with Inter Milan in the Champions League and Chelsea in the Premier League. And Arsenal really need to pull up their socks so that they start performing a bit better. We already had warning signs against Bournemouth, against Southampton, against Leicester, against Liverpool. We had these warning signs coming for Arsenal where they were not performing and just trying to grind out either a draw or a win. And I think now it has passed this level, and where Arsenal are not able to control the game and it is coming out flat. Now, in terms of Martin Odegaard, he said, which is the most positive news that I saw, was where he said that he can't come back quickly enough, but I think he will be back on Wednesday for the Champions League game against Inter Milan, and we need him badly. There was zero creativity, and I think Mikel Merino is not the answer. Trossard as a number 10 is not the answer. We need Martin Odegaard fully fit and functional. So I hope he is there for those big games. Now, the other breaking news that came up was Edu is understood to have taken a decision to stand down at Arsenal, with sources believing that he has already been lined up to work for Marquinhos, who owns Nottingham Forest, Olympiacos, and Rio Ave. Telegraph Sport understands that Edu has been targeted as a potential chief executive of the Marinakis Group, overseeing operations at his 3 clubs, having turned down a similar offer in summer. Now, there are multiple things coming on from multiple sources. One of the sources close to the situation claimed that there has been a dilution of Edu's power behind the scenes at Arsenal. It is said that Tim Lewis has seen his influence grow, while Richard Garlick assumed more control when he was promoted this year. The Independent says that Edu has harbored ambitions to become the CEO at Arsenal, a position the Marikanakis group is willing to meet, as well as triple his current salary. Edu has been linked in talks with Marikanakis group and could now lead their recruitment. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. I think Edu, irrespective of what a lot of Arsenal fans say, I think he has helped Arteta and Arsenal build this team back to where now they challenge for the title back to back seasons. This team, I think they have fallen apart, but still, we did have a lot of good signings with it, some of the wrong signings as well. Some of the signings we have been absolutely delighted of, and I think a lot of credit goes to Edu as well, where he was the one who was pulling the trees behind the back. So I think in my scenario, I think Arsenal should have, or maybe somehow or the other, kept Edu at his job, because I think he has done a wonderful job. But even if it goes, I think we need to understand who comes at his position, because we really need someone who can help us get those world class signings through the door, in terms of striker, in terms of attacking midfielders, or in terms of winger. We need those players, and we need somebody with a very high capability to get that done for Arsenal. So I wish Edu all the best. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think Arsenal should change, because their performances have been horrible in the past few weeks? What do you think about Edu's departure from Arsenal? Who do you think Arsenal should get in as a technical sport director? So that is the video then and there, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share it with your friends. And thank you so much for tuning in.